up an iPhone. They said, every one of them said, we will wait till the high school. These were the technical, electrical, computer nerd wizards. We gave our son an iPhone when he was 10. He's now 14. We thought we were being so smart to get him something so technologically advanced. He's in high school now and on his iPhone constantly playing games, watching TikTok, sending messages. Wait till the children of these technologically executives get to be in middle school. Then they'll see. The world is taken over by iPhones. The world is taken over by iPhones. The world is taken over by iPhones. The Big Bang in my soul. Son. On your phone constantly? How about reading?
I don't really like to read novels.
You can take a walk.
Nah.
You can cook.
Nah.
You can skate.
All right.
Not right now, but you can take a walk.
Nah.
We can draw a picture.
Nah.
You can make origami.
What's that?
That was something that I did when I was young in early 70s in arts and crafts.
No thanks.
Big Bang in his soul.
The Big Bang in my soul.
The Big Bang in his soul.
Youth is wasted on the young. A quote by the great George Bernard Shaw. I wasted my youth. I didn't take any physics classes or chemistry classes in high school. In math, I stopped at algebra. I was into English, Shakespeare. There are more things in the heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. Musical theater! I don't really understand anything about physics!
It's happening all around you.
I don't really understand anything about chemistry!
And yet it's happening all around you.
I don't really understand anything about iPhones!
And yet it's happening all around you.
I don't really understand anything about the world!
And yet it's happening all around you. And yet it's happening all around you. And yet it's happening all around you. Bang in his soul.
The Big Bang in my soul.
Big Bang in his soul.
I am going to learn all about the science of iPhones. I am going to try to learn physics. I'll start at the beginning and work my way up to quantum mechanics and beyond. Calculus problems, complex physics equations. How does the computer work? I don't know. Look, I have a stroke. I had a major stroke 10 years ago. But I have to try. I have to at least do it for my son. I have to show him that I will at least try to understand science. Why did I mention origami?
General relativity can be summed up in two statements.
1. Space-time is a curved pseudo-Riemannian manifold with a metric of signature minus, plus, plus, plus.
2. The relationship between matter and the curvature of space-time is contained within the equation RYU minus 1/2 R.
Oh, I don't get it.
The Greek philosophers were into physics. Among the many, many things they were into, Democritus, the laughing philosopher, and he came up with something so brand new.
He said that everything was intertwined of particles you can't see with an eye. So small you had to live in an abstract world. The men and women in that world were few. Democritus came up with the atom. Atom.
Aristotle did not like him. Democritus did not make him laugh. Aristotle came up with a different term, a word to keep your soul in the right path. Aristotle came up with ether.
You laugh too much. I came up with a mystical ether, the divine air that puts our souls closer to the gods. I came up with the 5 essential ingredients for human life: earth, air, fire, water, and the divine one, ether. I came up with Aristotelian logic: all men are mortal, all Greeks are men, therefore all men are mortal. A syllogism.
What about the women?
Well, they're women, they don't count.
Footnote: Western culture started with the Greeks, and so did their version of patriarchy. The women were excluded from men's higher learning, and so began the subjugation of women.
I am a polymath. I'm into metaphysics. I'm into aesthetics. I'm into natural physics. I'm into politics. I'm into biology, anthropology, psychology, dreams, and souls. I'm into everything. But I am not into you. You laugh too much. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. Stop laughing.
But Democritus came up with atom, the necessary ingredient of everything. Aristotle didn't think of it, Democritus did. And that gives Democritus the last Democritus came up with the atom. Democritus came up with the atom. Democritus came up with the atom.
That's a message for my wife, who I had talked to about my son's dentist appointments. She is separated from me. She lives in a cabin. I won't get into it, She probably won't answer the phone now, but because she is with her lover. I don't know if she has a lover, but she says it's none of my business if she has a lover. Maybe it's not my business. I don't know. It's my wife. Hello? Maybe she isn't having an affair. I'm taken. Oh, I'm okay. I'm all right. But I want to know. But I want to understand all the physics and all the computer programming and wireless phones behind the iPhone. Because I lived before in high school or college. I know, I studied other things, but maybe I was lazy. But I should have wanted to learn it. I have to try. Oh, I have to try for our son. Well, I'm going to try. Bye. Maybe she may be having an affair.
Copernicus was the first one that said that the sun was the center of the galaxy and all the other planets, including Earth, went around it. Johannes Kepler of Germany, 1619, wrote a book called Harmonies of the World, giving each planet its own harmony.
But Galileo of Italy, he was known as the father of modern science. He was an astronomer and a mathematician. He built one of the first telescopes and could see the hills and the craters of the moon, even the moons of Jupiter. He came up with gravity. He wrote,
Dialogo sopra I due, massimi sistemi del mondo.
The dialogue concerning the two-chief world system, and he got in major trouble with the Catholic Church for saying that the Earth was not the center of the solar system, the sun was, which was the Copernicus way.
No.
he was convicted by the Catholic Church for his heliocentric views, and he spent the rest of his life as a prisoner in his own house. And even though he never married, and he was a devout Catholic, he did have 3 illegitimate children.
Whoa.
Oh,
That got your attention.
He never got married, but he had a lover, and they had 3 children.
You are more into soft sciences, aren't you?
Yeah.
No. That was in high school.
Oh, come on.
No. I mean, they're hard physics now. Hard physics. That's what I'm trying to do.
No, come on.
What?
We saw you switch from the very hard physics book to the very soft physics book.
Yeah.
As they say, you can't turn a soft science student into a hard physics student.
It doesn't work.
I am going to
It
try.
doesn't work.
At least I'm going to try.
All right, we can't stop you from trying. Shall we continue?
Yes.
The next giant in physics was born the year Galileo died, 1643. Sir Isaac Newton!
If I had seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. They were minor giants. I am a major giant. My head is full of physics, science and math. I have no time for love, except the love of God. I wrote my magnus opus, Principia Mathematica. I discovered the study of optics. I created calculus. I wrote force equals mass times acceleration. You're very welcome. I have no time for love, except the love of God. I calculated the speed of sound. I accounted for the tides. I wrote all the laws of motion and of universal gravity. I eradicated doubt on the Earth's and the solar system's heliocentricity. You're very welcome. I have no time for love, except the love of God. I studied circles, ellipses, parabolas, and hyperbolas. I did all the math for classical mechanics, and it works! For every action, there is always an equal and opposite reaction. I have no time for love, except the love
of all time, and he was a bachelor, and he was into God.
And in his spare time, he was a theologian.
Was he a virgin, or maybe gay?
You are talking soft sciences here.
No.
We are talking about Sir Isaac Newton, the greatest scientist in the history of the world. And you are wondering if he's a virgin.
Lord. I'm interested in eclipses and hyperboles and parabolas. Oh man.
Go to the next class.
We're going to get to know your son.
Is he working hard in your class?
Well, you know. This quarter we're studying circles, ellipses, hyperbolas, and parabolas. And the steam engine, which came along.
He's not working hard in your class.
Well, we're studying circles, ellipses, parabolas, and hyperbolas.
I've been reading Galileo and Kepler and Isaac Newton, circles and eclipses and stuff.
Nice. Just recently we started the formulation for pi.
Could you tell me what pi is? I think it has something to do with radiuses.
You don't know what pi is?
I learned it in high school and in 7th grade and forgot it.
Like most students.
Yeah, it's true. In high school and college, I took soft science classes, sociology, psychology, geography. But now I'm going to try to learn hard physics.
You are?
I'm trying.
I'm a high school science teacher. And when those physicists come at me with their formulas, I get lost.
Well, I get lost immediately, but I'm going to try.
Wow.
I'm going to try.
3.14, etc., etc., etc. It's an infinite number, goes on forever. Take the circumference of a circle and you divide by the diameter, and you get 3.14, etc., etc., etc. That is pi.
Thank you. What I really want to do is learn about the 5G, the cell phones. I think they are all about radio waves, but I'm not sure. I want to be able to talk to my son in depth about what it all means. That's what I want to do. That's my goal.
Well, you are starting at the beginning.
Yes.
Why don't you study electricity? And start with Ben Franklin. He was into soft sciences too.
I will.
Benjamin Franklin, the first great American polymath, having learned much.
His father came over from England to Boston and made candles.
In 1706, Ben was born as the 15th child to his father.
When he was 10 years old, he stopped going to school, but he kept reading.
He worked for his older brother's print shop where they printed the newspaper.
Benjamin Franklin, the world's first American polymath, having learned much.
At the age of 15, behind his brother's back, Ben wrote letters to the editors as an old woman.
It became hugely popular, but when his brother found out he was writing them, he got beaten.
He ran away to New York City and worked for a print shop who sent him to London to buy goods.
When he returned to America, he settled in Philadelphia and opened his own printing shop.
Benjamin Franklin, the world's first great American polymath, having learned much.
He opened printing shops all up and down the eastern seaboard, which made him wealthy.
In his own print shop, he published Poor Richard's Almanac, which was a smash.
He made a Leyden jar out of a Leyden jar, and the glass was insulated.
He did experiments with electricity and he made a Leyden jar with water and wire stuck into it.
He could hold the Leyden jar in his hand because the glass was insulated. The water was a conductor through the wire.
Benjamin Franklin, the great American polymath, having learned much.
During the lightning storm, he flew a kite and it was hit by lightning and the Leyden jar was electrified.
This lightning experiment proved that lightning was not God's wrath, but it was electrical.
Ben showed how.
Ben showed how the lightning rod should be put on houses so that they can catch fire when it storms.
He became internationally famous for his invention all across America and Europe.
He was one of the writers of American Declaration of Independence. He was one of our founding fathers.
Benjamin Franklin, the first great American polymath, having learned much.
Lost time is never found again.
You can say that again?
Glass, china, reputation are all easily cracked and never well mended.
Yes.
A learned blockhead is a greater blockhead than an ignorant one.
Yeah.
In this world, nothing can be said to be true, sure, except for death and taxes.
Man, that's true.
By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail.
Amen.
A brother may not be a friend, but a friend is always a brother.
I've seen that.
Creditors have better memories than debtors.
Oh, baby.
Hide not your talents. They for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade?
There you go.
Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, and I remember. Involve me, and I learn.
Don't forget.
When you're finished changing, you're finished.
You ain't kidding.
Maybe electric batteries could be made. Negative charge, positive charge.
Man. Oh, he came up with and named it electric battery. He came up with a positive and the negative charge. What is it? What's next in the history of electricity?
Well, there were two Italian scientists in the 1790s. One was named Galvani, an anatomy professor, and the other was a professor of science, interested in electricity, named Volta.
takeover in northern Italy, and all the professors were forced to pledge allegiance to the French. Galvani didn't. and he was stripped of his professorhood and died in poverty. Volta pledged allegiance. In his battery, became world famous.
Wow, Galvani made his choice and lived in poverty for the last few years. He might have been happy, you never know. Volta made his choice and found fame and fortune. I'm definitely learning a lot from these books, but it's kind of with soft science, and my mind keeps on blurring over the hard physics. Oh, Jesus. Hey, son! Where are you going? Where are you
I'm
going?
not interested in
Where are you going?
my friend's house.
What are you going to do there?
I don't know. Hang out.
Oh, do you want to go? Do we want to hear what I've been learning about the history of batteries?
I'm not interested. Not really. Some other time. Some other time. Can I have my allowance?
I was just like him when I was his age.
Yes.
Soon after Volta published his paper making the first battery, Humphrey Davy, the president of Royal Society of London, made a battery the size of the room. He put positive charge next to a negative charge and made an arc lamp. He made hydrogen and oxygen by putting wires connected to a battery into the water and chemically broke the water down. He also invented laughing gas.
Holy cow!
A young man came to his attention at Davy's public lectures. This young man was in his 20s and he was a bookbinder's apprentice. He left school at 12 years old, and as a bookbinder's apprentice, he read a lot. He read A Conversation in Chemistry by Janet Marcel.
Wow, a woman, it's about time.
Yes, it is. It's patriarchy.
Yes.
The young man went to Davy's lectures and took copious notes and submitted them to Davy. They were so good that Davy hired him. It was 1812 and the young man's name was Michael Faraday, and he became one of the greatest scientists of the world.
I came from humble beginnings, not interested in society. The science lab was where I found my home. I created the first electromagnetic motor. Michael Faraday, and he became one of the greatest scientists of the world. In 1821, Oersted wrote a paper on electricity and magnetism. I took the paper to the laboratory and created the first electromagnetic motor. Michael Faraday, and he became one of the greatest scientists of the world. I attached a battery to a wire that circled round the magnet, suspended in a mercury bath. I created the first electromagnetic motor. Michael Faraday, and he became one of the greatest scientists of the world. Michael Faraday, Michael Faraday, Michael Faraday, Michael Faraday, Michael Faraday.
could hold on to energy, and then they came up with a telegraph where people could send signals hundreds of miles away down an electric wire, turning the switch on and off in Morse code. And we get to now where we could have levitating electromagnetic trains going at 400 miles an hour from New York to Washington, D.C. in a few years' time. Look at Japan.
I've seen the YouTube videos about Japanese trains. Wow.
Of course, there is math in physics. There was James Clerk Maxwell from Scotland. He did all the math from Michael Faraday's electromagnetic experiments. The math is very complicated.
The magnetic intensity is the rotation of the angular impulse. Therefore, the electric displacement is related to the electric motive force by the electric permittivity. Henceforth, the density of charge is the divergence of the electric displacement. And since this divergence of current is compensated by the rate of change
I'm totally confused.
Don't feel bad. But he made the connection that paved way for special relativity and quantum mechanics. There is Einstein, Newton, and Maxwell. Those are the top 3 scientists in the world, according to our scientists.
I did not know that.
He died at 49 years old in 1879 from cancer.
That's pretty young.
Yeah.
We see that you are trying.
Oh,
So
yeah.
why don't we just face it?
No.
You need a special brain for hard physics.
Yes.
You
No.
don't seem to have that
No,
specialty.
no.
You have other specialties,
Yeah.
like making up songs.
Yeah. Nice.
My mother was deaf, and that was the key to the door. When I was a young man, I followed my father from London to Ontario to start a school for the deaf. And then I went to Boston and started my own school. Met many a wealthy man who helped me build a laboratory. Now, one of the students was a beautiful young daughter of one of those wealthy men, and we fell in love. My fiancé was deaf, and that was the key to the door. The doctor gave me a dead man's ear 150 years ago. They probably would have hung me as a witch. But I learned a lot by dissecting it, the tympanic membrane, the eardrum, and those vibrations of speech. The auditory ossicles, tiny bones, hammer, and animal, the stirrup, all those peculiar things that make us hear. My wife was deaf, and that was the key to the door. I spoke into a diaphragm with reeds and magnets attached to a wire. Come here, I want to see you. My assistant, Mr. Watson, in the other room. He heard me through that wire, and the world has never been the same. I procured the patent for the tough old in 1876. My fiancé was deaf, my wife was deaf, my mother was deaf, and that was the key to the door, and that was the key to the door.
I can sort of make up songs if I know the basics of the subject, that I can write some verses.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Shall we continue?
Yes.
Thomas Alva Edison, the great American inventor, didn't even go to college. He got first job decoding Morse code at the age of 16 and he was off to the races. He invented phonograph, motion picture camera and light bulbs among many other things. You want to know, Tama? There is Edison, Tesla, Westinghouse and Morgan.
I like Smarmy Mom.
Oh,
Okay. Well, it was a dark and stormy night. In 1887, the electromagnetic motor was still pretty new. Everyone was still using gas lamps. The lightning bulb had not been invented yet, but in this New Jersey laboratory, the scientists who had developed the phonograph a few years before, Thomas Alva Edison, was on it.
Yes, here it is. My men and I, have just invented a light bulb. Now every house and apartment needs wiring, electric wiring, direct current, or DC as it's called. I'll take it to JP Morgan. There needs to be a generator on every street. What do you want?
hello, Mr. Edison. I had vision. Alternating current is better than is direct current.
You just got off the boat from Serbia with 2 pennies in your pocket. You came to me at Edison General Electric for a job. You are lucky I gave you a job. I'm the boss around here and I say no.
Yes.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, I quit. I write letter of resignation. And maybe the other inventor, Mr. Westinghouse, would like my vision.
He is going to my rival in this electric light bulb showdown. I'll sue them.
This is fantastic. Alternate current or AC. You don't need a generator to make direct current or DC on every street.
No.
With alternate current, the generators could be hundreds of miles away.
Yes.
You are a genius, Mr. Tesla.
I had vision on brain. I put on paper.
Yeah, and it works. I will make you a millionaire.
Oh, this is very good.
I'll sue you.
Oh, yeah? I sue you.
I'll double sue you.
I triple sue you.
Quadruple sue you.
I quintuple sue you.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I own 60% of Edison General Electric. I do what I want with it. My money likes alternate current. So, today, we are going to change the name. Instead of Edison General Electric, it is going to be General Electric. Simple is always better, don't you think? Sorry, Tom. Mr. Westinghouse, how would you feel about becoming a partner in General Electric?
Yes.
Very well then, good day.
It ends like that?
More or less.
Hey, son. Would you like to make a model of a V8 engine? The box says it's very complex.
I'm not interested.
You're not interested in cars?
You press the button and drive.
But the inside of the engine.
What do you know about the inside of an engine?
Well, nothing but...
I don't know anything either. And you seem okay. Sort of. I'm going to go to my friend's house.
electromagnetic waves. That we can't see with the naked eye. When asked about the applications of my experiment, I said, nothing, I guess. So imbecilic. I died at the age of 36 from a malignant bone condition from the experiments I suspect.
And few years after that came Marconi, who could communicate with electromagnetic wavelengths, and radio was born.
So you take a receiver on the antenna and you go up over the hill so you can't see me. And I'll keep the transmitter and another antenna and I will try to get the transmitter to send you a message. And if your antenna receives the message, shoot the gun. Go, 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 go. My mother is Irish, so I speak English. I know electromagnetic motors can make a message to the air as if it were magic. I read Hertz's obituary and I know I must carry on his work for all the world to see. I know it can, I know it can. I may be only 21, but I need this special receiver and transmitter to use. I know I can, I know it can. I'll use Morse code through the transmitter to send a spark through the antenna. I know I can, I know I can. Electromagnetic waves, electromagnetic waves, electromagnetic waves. Ah! Oh,
Jagadish Chandra Bose. He was born in 1856 and came to London to study. He was the first scientist that discovered that crystals, which are semiconductors, can catch electromagnetic waves and amplify them.
I don't understand Europeans. Crystal speaks to the universe that could make the prisms illuminate electromagnetic waves into colors. The electromagnetic wave speaks over the air. The Europeans speak money, money, money.
Attention, s'il vous plaît, hein? Oh, merci, Monsieur Supposant. This is the first man in the musical that is not from Europe or America. I'm terribly sorry, Monsieur. There's only been one woman, and she's only had one land. Quel dommage, non? Alors, Madame Curie, Mary Curie, I will fix this maintenant sans hésitation. Master, s'il vous plaît, hein? I am from Poland. I come to Paris to study physics. I was the best student in the whole class. That is not bragging. It is the truth. I met my husband, Pierre Curie, after graduation. He was a physicist and I worked with him. We was the same. It is the truth. We found new atoms. They give off radiation. Some give off alpha rays, some beta rays. Some beta rays, and that's the truth. These new atoms, radium and polonium, radium glowing in the dark. It was hot to touch, and that's the
As your friend, I want to know, how is the science project going?
Well, from the soft physics point of view, it's going good, but from the hard physics, not so good.
Well, I can imagine.
I'm reading about Albert Einstein. I'm trying to get special relativity. All right. Pretend your train is going by 1,000 miles an hour. From where you are standing, 2 lightning bolts hit the earth nearby simultaneously. Now, to pretend you are on the train, on this reality, you hear the lightning bolts that you are approaching. You hear it 1 second or 2 seconds before you hear the other lightning bolt that is behind you. We're special relativity. I guess Isaac Newton, the science genius, was wrong when he said time is a constant thing. Time is not a constant thing.
I'm a little confused.
I'm a little confused too, and I just started to look into quantum mechanics.
Oh boy, I really can't understand that stuff. You never studied science or physics before. Why are you studying it now?
Because I'm ashamed that I don't know anything about it. I started to watch the documentaries and read the books on science, and that's helping a little bit. The atoms, the protons, the electrons, quantum mechanics, computer science. I know enough to try to explain what relativity is, but not how it works. I'm working towards understanding the cell phones.
Ooh, yeah, in 10 years, the iPhone is going to change completely in ways we can't even imagine.
It seems inevitable, and all the PhDs of technology will be behind it all. There's no way that I can keep up. I'll just try my best. I don't really understand what Einstein's famous formula means. He came up with it in 1906 when he was 26 years old. E equals mc squared.
Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. It's a metaphor for the universe. It can bring sparkling joy or it can bring genocide. It's a metaphor for life. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. It's a metaphor for the sun. It can light up the world or it can darken. It's a metaphor for life. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. It's a metaphor for the violin. It can make sweet sounds or horrific noise. It's a metaphor for life. I play Mozart on my violin to bring me comfort. But I know energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. And I'm frightened by the reality we live in. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. It's a metaphor for the universe. It can bring sparkling joy or it can bring genocide. It's a metaphor for life. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. Energy
understand the math behind E equals MC squared.
And so we're left with the MEV.
It's me. I'll take them over there. Bye. Maybe my wife is with her. I'm not sure if she has. She might have a lot. Hello. I'll pick them up. Okay. I'm trying to understand physics, and soon I'm going to try to understand how a cell phone works.
A good luck.
I guess she's not interested.
We're going to have to try and cheer him up, aren't we?
Sometimes when you're feeling down
And everything can make you frown.
And your head will surely pound.
Just think of this and it will turn you around.
Physics can be hilarious. Physics can be hilarious. Physics can be hilarious.
Why does a burger have less energy than a steak?
Because it's in its ground state.
Why is electricity an ideal citizen?
Because it conducts itself so well.
What does E equals MC squared mean?
It's a tough one.
Energy
Uh-huh.
equals
Uh-huh.
milk chocolate squared.
Physics and math can be freaking hard.
And it shows up on your report card.
And only weeds will grow in your yard.
Try to think of it in this regard.
Physics can be hilarious. Physics can be hilarious. Physics can be hilarious.
Why is it best to teach physics at the edge of a cliff?
Because that's where the students have the most potential.
What did the male magnet say to the female magnet?
When I saw you from behind, I found you rather repulsive. But now that I'm seeing you from the front, I find you rather
I have a new theory about inertia, but it doesn't seem to be gaining any momentum.
That's a good one. Come on. Anything can be funny if you're in the mood.
You have to have teachers. They can't be prudes.
slightly awry and not too tightly screwed.
We think it's all in the attitude.
I'm
We better take a break. Intermission.
door is hard to hang if you're not a carpenter. Shocks you if you're not an electrician. Sewer can back up when you're not a plumber. But you need some extra brain cells to call yourself theoretical physicist. You love rehearsals to do a play like a ballerina. And practice to drive an 18-wheeler truck. You need to beware the balance if you're an accountant, but you need some extra brain cells if you're gonna be theoretical physicist.
Dog around, show tunes.
I can write them in my sleep.
Dog around, show tunes.
I feel like I'm going to weep. You have to make a lot of briefs if you're going to be a lawyer. Stuck a lot of fires if you're going to be a usurper. Shake a lot of hands if you're going to be a politician. But you need some extra brain cells if you're going to call yourself
Theoretical physicist. Dog around, show tunes.
I can write them in my sleep.
Dog around, show tunes.
I feel I'm going to weep. But you need some extra brain cells if you're gonna call yourself a theoretical physicist. But you need some extra brain cells
To call yourself a theoretical physicist.
and you need some extra brain cells
To call yourself a theoretical physicist.
Please don't weep.
Shall I go on?
Yes, we know where you're at.
Start here. This is the story about how the atom was developed. Well, you have met Democritus, the Latin philosopher. He used the word atom, which means untouchable in Greek.
No one believed Democritus because, let's face it, he laughed a lot. Aristotle didn't believe in atoms. He believed you could cut away to infinity. He believed in ether, and everybody believed him. He was Aristotle, and he was righteous.
It wasn't until the early 1800s when a chemist named John Dalton discovered that water was 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, H2O. He called them hydrogen and oxygen atoms, and he came up with these laws.
All matter is made of very tiny particles called atoms. Atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction.
It was very controversial.
It could be. Could be not. It could be not.
The problem is, the atom is very, 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 very minuscule. But to make matters worse, Planck, the head of the physics department in Berlin in 1899, came up with a number that is the smallest number in the world, the millions, trillions of an atom. He was studying about how the universe came about, what we now know as the Big Bang. We call this number Planck's constant.
Sure, Planck's constant.
British physicist J.J. Thomson discovered the electron and the proton were parts of the atom. And there are many different types of atoms, 109. Different types of atoms with different amounts of protons and electrons.
109
different atoms?
7 atoms.
109 atoms. Everything comes from 109 atoms. Of course, J.J. Thomson didn't know there were 109 atoms in 1900.
Of course not.
Anyway, he put forth the blueberry muffin model of atoms with the electrons as the blueberries and the protons as the muffin.
Yeah! Blueberry muffin model! The blueberry muffin model! Yeah!
A few years later, the New Zealand physicist, Dr. Ernest Rutherford, who was the head of the physics department at the College of Manchester in England, came up with the famous gold foil experiment. He shot alpha particles, helium atoms, at the gold foil, which had a tiny wick to it. The alpha particles would go right through, except occasionally they bounce back.
Rutherford deduced that some of the alpha particles, 1 or 2 of them out of a couple of thousand, were hitting a nucleus in the center of the gold atom, and the rest of the alpha particles were not hitting anything. In other words, if my fist were a nucleus where the protons were, the outer rim of the atom where the mosquito-like electrons was a mile away, this was called the nucleus model.
Except there was a problem. The electrons were negatively charged and the protons were positively charged, and they attracted each other. The atom would have exploded. But we know they stay the same.
A few years later, a young physicist who had been a student of Dr. Rutherford, Niels Bohr, came up with an answer. He did a lot of math. He was a theoretical physicist that was way out there. Atomic quantum mechanics, atomic emissions spectra. You won't get it.
Nope, I don't get it.
Well, get this. In the 1920s, a German physicist named Heisenberg came up with the uncertainty principle. It states that the more precisely you can predict where the position of a particle is, the less you can predict its momentum, and vice versa.
I don't get it.
What's in it? Get this! Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger, a physicist in the 1930s from Austria, came up with a thought experiment. He said, imagine a box with a cat in it, radioactive atom, it breaks down, the hammer swings, the poison breaks, the cat dies! Or not?
I don't get it!
And they discovered the neutron.
All right. He doesn't get it. It's quantum mechanics. Who understands it? It keeps me up all night. But I want to understand it. You know what I'm saying?
He is the world-famous theoretical physicist Richard Feynman. We are in the 20th century. He is very relatable. He may play bongos.
I used to work at my neighbor's radio repair shop in Queens, New York. And then I got my undergrad at MIT and my PhD at Princeton. And then I worked at the Bomb at Los Alamos. And then I worked at Caltech as a professor of theoretical physics. And then at Cornell, I wrote a lot of books. You read one? Well, whatever. You know how else I got to be here? My father. He always wanted to know how things worked. He never went to college. And you want to know how else I got to be here? I worked my ass off. I was always the brightest, but I had a lot of questions. I need to know why or why not. I need to know about the atoms, the nucleus, the protons, the neutrons, and electrons. I need to know about the radioactive atoms, the nuclear fissions, the nuclear fusions. I need to know about the isotopes, the positrons,
atomic bomb.
Yes, Einstein figured it out somewhere. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. We split atoms in half, the atomic bomb. That's when I learned in 1945 what horror and beauty there was in physics.
War and peace. The crucible that physics sits on.
What a bunch we are, what a bunch we are, what a bunch we are. We finally figured out what an atom was, and then we figured out the atom bomb. Atoms, uranium and plutonium were used, nuclear fission, radioactive atoms. What a bunch we are, what a bunch we are, what a bunch we are. Oppenheimer, César, Fermi, Lawrence, Groves, Frisch, Kistowski, Teller, all the top physicists in the world, we gathered them all at the Manhattan Project. What a bunch we are, what a bunch we are, what a bunch we are. We killed hundreds of thousands of people with a bomb, and thankfully ended World War II. We brought so much misery to the world, we brought so much thankfulness to the world. What a bunch we are, what a bunch we are, what a bunch we are. What a bunch we are, what a bunch we are, what a bunch we are. What a bunch we are, what a bunch we are, what a bunch we are.
What a bunch we are, tragic and hopeful, the human condition, family, friends, hurt, loneliness, hollowness, faith, patriarchy, righteousness, despair,
Physics.
physics. And I have a lot to cover to get to the iPhones, computers and wireless telephones and the internet.
You are barely just touching the surface.
I am.
There are not a lot of people who can keep up with math, chemistry, and physics. You're average. Go on, it's all right. You go ahead and be average.
Average.
Walt Whitman said, be curious. There's a lot to be curious about. Just keeping you curious.
I'm trying.
Physics and math, physics and math. It's a wondering, eye-opening
I admit it. I can't do hard physics and math. I can barely do soft physics and math, but I have to keep trying. Why? Because I'm a dad who cares about his son.
Physics and math, physics and math. Though the physics can show its wrath.
And human beings are curious beings? Look at what we have accomplished so far. Radio, train, television, cell phones, atom bombs. It took time, like 100,000 years or something.
Physics and math, physics and math. The math led us to a bloodbath.
We are curious beings, but are we moral beings? Nuclear weapons, we create them to silence our enemies. Who are our enemies? I'm not sure.
Physics and math, physics and math.
and math to keep the world safe. My musical half-ass history of science, the physics that go up to the cell phones and what they can do.
Physics and math, physics and math. It's the mornings I won't bring back. Physics and math, physics and math.
Oh, right, right.
Okay, I found this really good explainer of algebra and calculus on YouTube.
Really?
Really? I mean, some of these people on YouTube that teach, they are good. They've got all this computer graphics at their fingertips, and they can reach millions of people. Yeah, I don't know why I have to go to regular school. I mean, I could get my master's from YouTube. No, really. I mean, I'd like to go to college, but for the social life, not the education.
What do you mean?
I mean, sometimes these people on YouTube are dope. I'm gonna go to my friend's house.
Maybe.
So we are going to get into electricity in a whole new way.
For instance, we are going to talk about cathode ray tubes, also known as vacuum tubes.
Could I put a little melody to it, jazz it up, put a little innuendo in there, sexy?
Sure. Even though you know nothing about cathode ray tubes.
Or vacuum tubes.
The cathode ray tube was invented in 1897.
They figured out how to shoot electrons from the negative cathode to the positive anode.
Oh, wow.
Your electrical wire was 1 volt, and then you hooked it up in the amplifier, and it became 10.
Yeah, baby.
It was the most important invention in the electrical age. It made the electrical powerful.
How? You could make telephone calls locally. Now, you could make them
Changed the name from cathode ray tube to vacuum tube, which was far simpler.
The transistor was necessary for the radio.
The transistors were necessary for the record player.
transistors were necessary for the television.
In an electrical circuit, in an appliance in your house, they have resistors which take away voltage and capacitors which store energy, kind of like a battery, but don't take my word for it, I'm an electrician.
The transistor was invented in 1949.
The transistor does the same thing as the cathode ray tube and vacuum tube do, only it's inexpensive and doesn't break.
The transistor uses semi-conducting metals to guide electrons to make circuits.
Oh, baby.
Silicon.
Oh, say it again, sister.
Silicon.
Baby, you feel good.
One of the most common metals is a semiconductor. And it's in every computer.
Moore's law, which says that computers will have to get smarter, will have to come to an end.
Technicians put transistors under microscopes, millions of them in your cell phone.
Thank you.
Transistors was necessary for the transistor radio.
Transistors are necessary for computers.
Transistors are necessary for everything.
Playing with electrons, we have come a long way. We have come a long way.
It's a musical.
We are talking about vacuum tubes and transistors.
Well, you see my point. I knew radios and televisions used vacuum tubes, but I didn't have any idea what for. Now I know 10% of what they're used for. Oh, just, the closest I came to electricity in my whole life was when I was in first grade. I gave myself a electrical humdinger of a shock. I had some wire that I found and walked around the classroom asking if anyone wanted to stick the wire in an outlet with me, daring everyone. Everyone said no, except for one kid. He said, sure. We walked over to an outlet. We took the wire in both hands of our hands, both wires in both of our hands, and stuck it in the socket. The whole building was short-circuited, the lights turned off, and we were electrocuted. To this day, I can still feel the electricity reverberating through my body. I wonder if that experience was enough direct electricity for me.
Well, you are mildly electrocuted.
That's my problem. I've been electrocuted from the start, an early age.
Very mildly.
Well, all right, very mildly, but I reminded myself how easily I could have electrified myself to death. Everything in the modern world is electrified, which brings us to computers. How do they work? Oh no! I need to try to understand computers!
Charles Babbage, my mentor, created the analytical engine, one of the first computers he ever made. Some people say I wrote the first program that tells computer what to do. I saw it as a remarkable thing. It went way beyond numbers, it could even do music, it could do many things, except think like a human, can think like a poetic human being. It thinks like a machine, and that's what makes it special. I have an abstract, beautiful mind. I have an abstract, beautiful mind. I have an abstract, beautiful mind.
The way your computer works is called binary system, 0 and 1. Of course, we use the decimal system in daily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When a computer uses electricity to turn a transistor on or off, 0 or 1. And that's what's called a bit. And 8 bits is called a byte. That means a new level of abstraction.
A tragic story has been told of late. The suicidal knot has England wrought. I developed one of the first computers in the world. Algorithms and computation with my machine. My computer broke the German army code, but it didn't stop me shagging men in the dark. I was caught with my trousers down. It was illegal, but all my life I've been gay. The Turing machine must be like a human someday. I've got an abstract, beautiful mind. I've got an abstract, beautiful mind.
Your computer has a hard drive, which stores basic information, zeros and ones. But it is slow for the central processing unit to get to. So you need the random access memory, the RAM, which stores very little memory. It sends the information quicker and quicker. That means a new level of instruction.
Mathematician does their best work when they're young. When I wrote my master's thesis, I was 21. Using binary numbers in digital circuitry. Zeros and ones off and on electricity. I can keep that big transistor. I wrote the information theory in 1948. On mathematical theory of communication. About how much information we can get. Using the electromagnetic waves. I have an abstract, beautiful mind. I have an abstract, beautiful mind.
A computer can almost think like a human, but any computer can be programmed to think like any other computer. A program is like an app on your phone. A program is like a recipe. Maps is an app or program to get you where you're going. The directions are your ingredients. That's a new level of abstraction.
Stop! I can't take it anymore! Level of abstraction. What? How? I put time into the physics I tried.
We haven't even done the space race yet.
Space race!
USSR versus USSA. When the first ever made atom bomb was made by the USA and nearly wiped out Japan, the USSR got all their scientists together and said, we are going to be the first nation to explore space, and no expense was spared. They created Sputnik, and that was the first to enter Earth's orbit. A spaceship the size of a battleship thrust into the sky, and the space race was on. For the first few years, the USSR was in the lead. The Sputnik was the first to leave Earth orbit, and then there was Europe. The USSR gave the thrust to the space race. The USSR has the lead.
Then the US got serious with the USSR. They had a decade to get an astronaut to the moon. In 1969, they finally did it. The US gave the thrust to the space race. The US was in the lead.
The same goes to space and beyond. The billionaires got in the thick of it, and
1940s movie star. I am Eddie Lamar. I am a great beauty. But before all of that, my father, he was a Hungarian and he was a banker in Vienna, Austria, and he was excited about all sorts of things. He used to take a 10-year-old me on long walks and we would discuss electrical things, electrical objects that people had not made yet. We talked about patents, electrical patents, and I shared his curiosity. He died when I was a teenager. Later, on movie sets during the breaks, I used to go off and I used to think about electrical problems and solutions. My mother, she was a Jew and she was still in Europe at the time. It was World War II. She wanted to get on a boat to get to America to be with me, but she was scared. She was scared that a torpedo would do her in. So I made a solution. I came up with frequency opening spread spectrum to catch torpedoes before they fire them. You use it now in the wireless internet. I guess you could say I was an idiot savant. Now there are many women in physics today.
Son, I wish I knew then what I do now.
What?
I wish I knew back in high school and college where the world was heading.
Oh, brother.
You don't want to go, you don't want to know where the world is going?
I don't want to study physics.
It's a great thing to study.
Sorry.
That's too bad.
Sorry. I'm going to my room to play video games.
You should learn how to make video games.
Should?
He's just like you when you were his age.
Yeah.
Well, he's close enough.
The apple falls near the tree.
Maybe, but maybe not.
Hey, I'm Steve Jobs. I know something.
Oh man, you are Steve Jobs. I'll tell you what. You knew what to get into when you were young.
I was passionate about tech. So were my friends. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Are you passionate?
Maybe, but I'm afraid I'm not passionate about tech.
You don't have to be passionate about tech. Just be passionate about something.
Well, I am curious,
Well, that's a step in the right direction.
except I know pretty much nothing about the cell phone.
You are the average guy. You are the customers. We sell a lot of iPhones to you.
But I am curious.
The iPhone is the most complex device in the world. Our engineers put wireless internet, phone, camera, all the special doodads that they never had onto this device, 3/8 of an inch by 5 inch, an iPhone.
And now it's iPhone 5G.
And it's now iPhone 5G.
I asked Siri to place a call.
I don't understand what you mean.
I asked Siri what the temperature is.
It's 8:36 p.m.
I asked Siri if I'm busy tomorrow.
Could you please repeat that?
I asked Alexa to play Stevie Wonder music for me.
Here is your Hungarian folk music.
I asked Alexa to wake me up. It's incredible.
It's cool, isn't it? A computer-generated service that looks like it comes out of a thin air, but it doesn't.
It's a voice-generated algorithm. It goes through the electromagnetic waves and comes through your phone.
Yeah, it's cool and everything, but 5G is pretty new, practically untested, maybe unsafe. It's really fast, but we're going to push the wavelength to places we have not gone yet. Should I be scared?
I am dead, you know. Pancreatic cancer took me when I was 56 in 2011. But I'm a techie. I would go for it.
Here is the visual of the electromagnetic waves from radio waves down to gamma waves.
Here you can see where the radio waves transition to the microwaves. Cell phone and Wi-Fi use radio waves, whereas 5G works on microwaves. You know how you are protected when you heat something up in the microwave. Radio waves and microwaves work on different frequencies. Some people think that using 5G on microwaves is dangerous. Some people think it's a great breakthrough in technology. Most people just get it because it's faster. They don't care about the science behind it because
It's the newest breakthrough technology. It's the newest breakthrough technology. It's the newest breakthrough technology. What do we get with 5G?
Self-driving cars.
Virtual reality.
Entertainment at your fingertips.
Moon landing.
Remote surveillance.
Fast, fast, fast.
It's the newest breakthrough technology. It's the newest breakthrough technology. It's the newest breakthrough technology.
what do we get with 5G? Self-driving cars.
Virtual reality.
Remote surveillance.
Porn at your fingertips.
Artificial intelligence who can run your life.
Cell phones being monitored.
Internet trolls.
Climate dysfunction.
Dystopian landscape.
Apocalypse. Fast, fast, fast.
It's the newest breakthrough technology. It's the newest breakthrough technology. It's the newest breakthrough technology.
It's the newest breakthrough technology. It's the newest breakthrough technology. It's the newest breakthrough technology.
What do we get with 5G?
I'll take him to the dentist. Fine. Maybe she's with her. I'm sorry, son.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I put pressure on you to enjoy physics. When I was your age, I couldn't care less about physics, even though I now find physics utterly fascinating but incredibly difficult. When I was your age, my curiosity was in a different place. I'm sorry that I put pressure on you, but
Be curious. Be curious. Be curious.
yes, be curious about everything. And if you can, be passionate about one thing.
Yes. Can I have my hands?
Yes. But first you have to sing the song with me.
Really? What's it about?
It's about us! It's about the physics of tomorrow! What will I be like tomorrow? What you be like tomorrow? Maybe you'll play soccer on the high school team. Maybe a computer will drive our car to every single match.
Maybe when you're in your senior year, self-driven cars will suddenly catch. Self-driven cars are coming. Self-driven cars are coming.
Maybe you'll write papers about politics. Maybe I can read
age. Quantum computers run 5G round the ring. Quantum computers are coming. Quantum computers are coming.
Maybe in a few years you can get on a train and go 400 miles an hour anywhere.
Half a day from Maine to California.
Bullet trains will get you there. Bullet trains are coming. Bullet trains are coming.
Maybe in a few years science will figure out how to make human beings live long, long lives.
Making your cancer and everything. Human beings live till they're in overdrive. The average lifespan of 100 is coming. The average lifespan of 100 is coming. Our galaxy is just the beginning. Maybe space travel is in its infancy. Maybe Star Trek will be true. Star Wars owns the reality. The universe will be our backyard. The universe will be our backyard. Maybe you'll be allowed to eyes, but that doesn't seem likely. Maybe you'll be a technophile, now that seems more likely. Physics, 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 physics.
It's about us. It's about the physics of tomorrow.
I am curious.
About physics,
Yeah,
you'll keep the subject open.
yeah.
That is good.
But I'm interested in other things as well,
Of course.
like the opposite sex.
Yes, I know. Let's call it love. You are interested in young love.
Yeah,
But don't forget, I love you too. There are many different types of love. I love your mother.
but I'm also curious about physics as well, sort of,
That's all I ask.
and sex, and love, as well as physics.
No! Excuse me. Gravitation cannot be held responsible for falling in love. How, with chemistry and physics, can you explain the biological phenomena of first love? Put your hand on the hot stove for 1 minute. Seems like an hour. Sit with the girl of your dreams for 1 hour. Seems like a minute. And that is relativity.
He said a lot about love. And of course, he was a genius about physics. Apparently, women were attracted to him, and quite a few had made love to him.
We stick to science.
Come on. Love and physics. That's what life is all about.